Welcome to Boujee Boys, the podcast where tech, travel, and luxury collide. Get ready to elevate your everyday as we dive into the world of the finer things in life. From cutting-edge gadgets to the most exclusive travel spots, we're bringing you insider tips, expert recommendations, and a touch of class. With your hosts, the dynamic duo, Ray and Miguel, prepare for a ride that's all about living the good life. So sit back, relax, and let's get bougie.
There's nothing wrong with going just to a regular, local bar, having a drink.
Yeah, dive bars are always
dive bars are fun, but it's an experience to get dressed.
Get dressed up. Go with some friends. Go with your wife.
Yeah,
go with your girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever it ends up.
And just having a really nice meal. And when I talk about really nice meal, I'm not talking about like Red Lobster. I'm talking about like a French restaurant.
An actual French restaurant.
Yes, like the one down in Portland called Le Pigeon, which I have to bring you.
Oh.
Down in Portland, Oregon. We gotta go.
I'm always down. Food and French food?
Yes. We gotta do the whiskey tour there too. So, but going to a French restaurant or to a Italian restaurant, like the one you have over here.
Yeah, Maclusso's.
Maclusso's.
Even not the Olive Garden.
No. But going to an actual, like, not themed, but restaurant that's specific for that culture.
Yeah, that particular region.
And you dress up to go to it. You're not just jeans and a shirt.
Yeah.
You know, you can do jeans with dress shoes, a button down, where you look presentable.
Yes.
You know? But nice pair of jeans, not the ones ripped or used for work or something like that.
You're not rolling out of bed.
Or wearing slacks, or khaki. But you're dressing up. You want to wear dress shoes. You want to wear a nice jacket. Your partner, whoever they are, wears a dress. Or if it's another guy, it's whoever your partner is. You both dress up. You make a day of it.
It's date night.
It's more than
perfect.
It's romantic. It's
experience.
Candles. It's you go out, you look at the menu, and it's special. Mm-hmm. It's very special, and you get to do this more than once a year.
Yeah.
So when we talk about like bougie on a budget, you're looking at some of these places where they have them in your town, and you're looking at the prices like, can I really go to some of these fancy places?
Some of these places, it'd be so expensive to wear, once a year special occasion, but you can make it, like El Gaucho. Mm-hmm. That place is super expensive, but there's ways to do it where you can go during happy hour.
Yeah.
Go during certain things, appetizers, drinks.
And they have some specials a lot of time at these places. They'll do specials. They'll do certain discounts on certain days or months,
Oh, we went during Valentine's Day, and I will not.
And that's the biggest. Yeah.
I will not. That place is expensive. When we went, it wasn't on actual Valentine's Day because I worked Valentine's Day, but we were off a couple days before. We went and celebrated and just had a little nice fancy dinner, and it was great. But it was funny because to tell you how expensive this El Gaucho is, if you've never been there or don't have anything similar, they had Alaskan king crab legs on the menu. My wife loves Alaskan king crabs. I made it for her, I think, for Mother's Day or one of the holidays.
Yeah.
Not too long ago. But king crab legs. We asked how much it was because it said market price. Every time you see market price, you know it's going to be expensive. Mm-hmm. And it changes based on the market. But they said they'd bring out one leg of Alaskan king crab, and they were like, it's like $100 and something. I was like, luckily, thank God my wife said, okay, no thank you. I mean, I wanted her to have the Alaskan king crab, but I was low-key like, I don't want to.
Did you get it?
I don't. No, we didn't get it. Thank God. But I didn't want to have to take out a second mortgage.
But you went and bought some.
Oh yeah, I went
and cooked it for her.
They had Alaskan king crab. I think what it was. I forgot what. Maybe it was this Valentine's Day. This last Valentine's Day is what I'm talking about, but I think this year's Valentine's Day. And we ended up staying home, and I just made some like steak and lobster, or steak and I did crab, Alaskan king crab.
Like a surf and turf.
Yeah. So, but I ended up finding a decent price. I think it was.
Yeah.
I probably got 6 or 7 legs for like $100.
See, that's not bad.
So that was
compared to going to
a restaurant
where you're gonna spend $100 for one leg.
and that is kind of like how the wine was.
Yeah.
Because that place, we found a Mark Ryan, one of our favorite wines, the Dissident, which is like a Bordeaux blend.
Oh, love some Bordeaux.
That's one of my favorite wines. But they on the menu it was $150. And my wife's like, "Oh, they got Mark Ryan." And she wanted to order it. And I was like...
She wanted to order the bottle. They didn't do it glass.
Yeah. I was like, oh, my God. I'm like... Pardon me.
We have that at home.
I am... When it comes to certain things, I don't know why. It's just... It is an Indian in me that I get cheap sometimes. But I'm the far from cheap because I will waste money...
Same.
On ridiculous stuff.
On stupid stuff.
Yeah. Like... I took out of the frame because I had up near my picture here. I had a haptic vest. That just it's a haptic vest for my VR headset.
I'm jealous.
I'll have to let you try it, but I've got my 3D printer and engraver. You can see like I don't know if you can't see it right now, but my 5 screens on my computer with a gaming computer, which is like $4,000 computer and all that.
And one screen is like.
Yeah,
almost like half my body. Just one screen is half my body.
I mean, behind the camera is a sauna. I spend ridiculous.
But he won't spend $150 on his wife for Valentine's Day
for
a bottle of wine.
For a bottle of wine, only because we have spent $150, $200 on a bottle of wine.
I have done it too.
But
especially if it's an Opus One.
The fact that I have the same exact bottle of wine at home that I bought for $50.
I would not do it.
I just cannot get myself to buy that $150 wine as much as bougie as I wanted to be.
I wouldn't either.
But, we talk about bougie on a budget, right? The key to that when it comes to certain things, and then which we've done, and we'll have to do it too, is because I like going to these restaurants. It's the atmosphere, and you try new stuff, and talking to some of the wine, the wine people, sommeliers and things like that. Like
it's amazing,
but you can do that without breaking the bank of buying the $200 bottle. And I found the easiest way for us recently, because I have a collection of it's dwindling. I need to restock, but 100 bottles easily of wine.
I remember.
And it's just easy for me to just grab those 2-3 bottles of my collection, take it with me to the restaurant, and pay the cork fee. And I was like, so.
Cork
fee. The cork fee. All it is they can't legally serve you the alcohol. If they have to serve you the alcohol for you to be able to drink it in public like that, but their liquor license. But they also make money off it too. So that way, you're not, because you're taking away business from it. You bring your own beer, your wine, that kind of stuff. You bring your own wine to the restaurant. They don't get anything out of it. So if they charge you a corking fee, usually anywhere from $20 to $30, it's way cheaper than spending $200 on a bottle. I mean, I already bought the wine, $50, but I will pay a $20
I'll
cork
pay
fee.
$20, $30, even $50 just to
be able to drink my own wine. But I'm not there for the wine. I enjoy the wine, but I'm there. I usually, and they know if you buy the wine, you're going to buy the appetizers, you're going to buy the snacks, and when you run out of the wine, you're going to buy more. And so that's always a good way to go to a nice fancy restaurant. Bring your own wine. And we get with friends. I have a group of friends that we go to wine tasting and do a bunch of stuff like that. And we'll get together every couple of months. And the last one we did was in Parkland, and this was a really good wine place. I can't remember the name. I'd have to look it up. But it's the same group of friends that we went to Walla Walla and bought a bunch of bottles of wine.
Yeah, I heard you. I heard about that trip.
You'll have to do that with us one of these days.
Yes.
But
I'm staying in your camper though.
Well, we went again without the camper, but one of our friends lived there now, so they have a room and everything.
Oh, nice.
So I slept on the couch there. Yeah.
I'm like, I'll take the couch.
Yeah.
Blue collar budget.
And they have an air mattress, things like that. So anyways, we stayed with them. But anyways, we bought a bunch of bottles of wine from the wineries there, and the one of the gentlemen, Kieran, I'm going to try to get him on the podcast as a guest because he does a bunch of stuff, wineries, and he runs the Northwest. Let's Talk About Wine Northwest Facebook group, and so he runs all that, and they have their own travel agency and stuff like that, which we're doing to travel. We booked a trip through them. But anyways, so I'm going to try to see if I can get him on as a guest as well to talk about all that bougie stuff as well. But anyways, he was coming. We flew to Walla Walla because we didn't want to drive the 5 hours because it was a quick trip. We went on a Friday and came back Sunday.
Is it like an hour flight?
It was 40 minute flight.
Now, do you get out of Seattle?
Yes.
That's not bad.
The only one that flies into is Alaska.
How much is that?
I did like $70. I think $70 one way. I think it ended up being like $120 round trip.
Still not.
And that's not bad.
$120 round trip.
And we had a place.
Costs more driving there.
Yeah, and we had a place to stay.
Round trip.
And we had a place to stay, so we didn't have to pay for a place. And we went to, because he knew a bunch of people, we got heavy pours on wine tasting, and we were going to buy bottles anyway, so we got the free tasting with that. So we ended up, between all of us, we bought a bunch of bottles. And Alaska will let us ship wine for free if you go to certain cities. Walla Walla, there's like so many cities, but if you go there, you can pack a case of wine and ship it for free.
Wow!
You bring it back, or you bring it back with you. They'll check.
Oh,
in for
that's
free.
nice.
Yeah, but Kieran was coming back to this. He travels once a week and flies to.
I'm starving.
Tacoma. Flies to Tacoma once a week, and anyway, so this time he was going to drive anyway. So he loaded up all the wine and brought it back to us. So we all met at a restaurant, had dinner, and a great dinner, and it got to the point we all just took 2 bottles of our stash of our favorite bottles, and we just brought it into the restaurant, and we paid the cork fee and opened it up and drank it there. Waitress was fantastic. She loved wine too, and she kind of interacted and helped us out and opened it and served us, and
great.
It was a good time.
Did you come to when I was with my ex? Did you come when I did the whole dinner wine thing, or no?
No, I don't think.
You missed that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been able to make it over to your guys' place or do any of that stuff.
So, what's cool, which is why I like. It's not about just being bougie. It's really about something elevated. People do potlucks, or people do dinners at their houses or parties. Mm-hmm. What I like to do when I can, and I have to plan it, I'm going to do another one, is a pairing dinner where I have wine at my house, a bunch of different wines, and I pair the meal. I'll do a 4 or 5 course meal and pair the wines with meals. And that's sort of something that happens in more of a upscale lifestyle. Mm-hmm. You don't see that for
dinner parties,
mm-hmm. But you don't see a lot of people who are like blue collar who do stuff like that. If they do a dinner party, it's mostly, hey, we're doing
potlucks,
we're doing a barbecue, or but when you do an actual,
don't get me wrong, we love some barbecue too. we love to eat.
Yeah, I mean,
part of being bougie is you enjoy
we're foodies.
The foodies.
We got our dad bods going on,
And that's why I like to travel the most out of all of it, is to experience the food in other cultures. Oh, yeah. I mean, the view is great, and it's a bonus in being able to go there, but the food, different food. But anyways, you were saying.
So
dinner parties.
Doing these very interesting dinner parties, because you're looking up a theme. You're looking up the recipes. You're buying the stuff. You're getting everything, and then you're looking at the wine you want to give to your friends. You're going to be like, you know what? I have fish, and this type of fish goes with this type of wine. Or, like, for me, I love sushi. But,
I love sushi.
Yeah. Love it.
We'll have to do a sushi.
And
day.
they do a plum wine. So like a lot of sushi places do plum wine. And it's a sweet wine. The reason they do a sweet wine because it cuts the acidity from sushi. Because of the fish. The fish does have a little acid, so it has a different type of taste. And with the sweetness with the fish, it's really just very interesting.
I'll have to.
Oh, yeah.
I'll have to
Love
pair it and try it. Yeah. I'll have to plumb it and try it.
Plum and try it. Puns. We are dads. We'll do dad jokes and puns.
Not as bad as my father.
How do you like the wine so far?
He does lots of dad jokes. The wine so far is good. I like it, and it's going really well with the meat.
Yeah, it is a little robust more than what I thought. It has a little hit to it.
Now, which grapes are these?
That's what I was trying to find. So, I am so bad. I put this in there.
Oh, is it locked in now?
There it goes. So, when you talk about wine and grapes, there's different types of grapes for wine. You think a grape is a grape. A grape's not a grape. They depends on the soil, when it's picked, when it's ripened. I mean,
It depends on the winter. And the
it
summer,
depends on
rain.
the weather.
Yeah.
And there are so many different types of grapes. It's not just, hey, I'm going to go get a grape. It's Welch's. Wine is basically adult grape juice,
Yeah.
which is a lot more intricate than what you think.
So, in case you guys didn't know, with wine, you go to places like Europe and you have wine. The wine over there, they've got a lot more rules when it comes to making wine.
Oh my gosh.
And the way they name and label their wine over there is going to be based on the region.
Yes.
So Champagne is from Champagne. Now, if it is manufactured or outside of Champagne, they can't call it Champagne. That's why you get sparkling wine or Brut when it comes to things. Like Bordeaux. Bordeaux is from Bordeaux.
Yes, it is.
And they have a lot of places out here that make Bordeaux blends, but they can't call it Bordeaux. But that they're able to make it. They're able to call it a Bordeaux blend.
I love me some
based
Bordeaux
off that. So I mean, it's the same grapes and same thing. So you've got Europe. Their wines are based off the region. That's what the name of the bottle and the name. So you get a good Bordeaux.
Which is basically France, Italy.
Yeah. So like Bordeaux is a wine. But then here in the U.S., they label their bottles based off the grape. So you get your winery, Boggle, or these other brands like you're saying.
Chateau Saint Michelle,
Yeah.
Mark Ryan,
all that stuff. So you've got that, and they say, Mark Ryan Cab Sauv.
which is a Cabernet
Sauvignon,
which is
grape.
two different grapes.
Which is a grape, yes.
Yeah, it's two different grapes, I believe. Because you have Sauvignon Blancs, which is more of a white grape.
Uh-huh.
Then you have a Cabernet Sauvignon, which is a red grape
yeah.
with a white grape.
Yes.
Yep. Then you have a Merlot.
You have Merlot. When we went to Walla Walla, we were at the vineyard. It was Walla Walla Vintners.
Mm-hmm.
And we were out there for an event, and we met the winemaker, one of the guys that does the wine, and he took us out into the vineyard. And I had some questions because I'd never actually tasted the grapes. Well, I asked him first. I was like, "Hey," I was like, "Look," I know that the grapes are different than the grapes you get in the store. They're not the big plump grapes. They're a lot smaller, sure.
Yeah.
Do they taste the same? Do they taste similar? What is it? Something? And he's like, "Let's go check it out." So we went down there, and he's like, "Yeah, this crop, we're not going to harvest it from this row right here, so we can pick it." So we grabbed some, and they were just delicious.
Oh yeah,
they were sweet. They were nice. I found out all the stuff like they had little pits in there. And the tannins and stuff like that. And learning where the tannins come from and seeing all this stuff and tasting it. And I was like, man, I could snack on these grapes all day long. And it was amazing.
And it also depends, like you said, not just the grapes. Some places actually have peel the grapes so you don't have the skins on them.
Yeah.
There are places who use barrels, wine barrels. Some places use steel barrels, which gives you actually a cleaner taste and doesn't pick up the wood from the barrels from wine.
Yeah.
And then some places use different wine barrels. Instead of just a regular wine barrel, they'll use a rum barrel, a bourbon barrel, a whiskey barrel, a scotch barrel. Now, some of these liquors, these are liquors, and I know he appreciates some of these, that are aged. So vodka is not aged. Vodka is potato. Or like gin, which is juniper berries. But you do rum, which is from sugarcane, is done in a barrel. Whiskey, scotch, these are things done in a barrel that ages them. Then they use some of those barrels in wine, move them to a wine place, and they, after the wine matures in their barrel, they actually put it into these alcohol barrels, liquor barrels, and picks up the taste notes
Yeah.
from those barrels. So it's not just a wooden flavor. Sometimes you get a little sugary. You'll get a little chocolate. Or you'll get
A little bit of
spicy,
tobacco.
like Spain. Spain does a really good Rioja. Rioja, you get a little tobacco and a spice to it because of the wood that's there and because of the way they do their wine. Compared to like a Melback, which is Argentinian, they have a higher elevation for their wines and their grapes, and you get a very peppery, but holds up very deep flavor, holds up to a steak, which is Melback and steaks for me are one and the same. I mean,
I love a good medium rare steak and then a good wine.
Yeah.
There's so many good wines out there that pair.
Where compared to like Italian wines is very lighter. Because the food that you eat in Italy is a lot more heavier.
Heavy for pasta and things like that.
Yeah, like, so Chianti's, Metro, was it? Oh my gosh. Tempernilos.
Oh, Tempranillos,
Yeah. There's Montepulcianos.
What was let me see, there's a good wine that they're doing, Macluso's, on their Monday things. It's like $250 a person.
So Macluso's is a Italian restaurant right around the corner from here. And me and him, the very first time we went there, we sat at the bar. And the owner just came back from Italy. Amazing woman. I can't remember her name. Amazing. And she pulled out a couple bottles that she brought back from Italy, not on the menu, and served us the wine. Oh, man. Just the flavor in your mouth, it's a explosion. So good. We have enough contact for like two things here.
Yeah, I figure we go like maybe anywhere for a half hour. Be good. I mean, the average podcast, I don't know. I think the average
usually like a half hour to an hour.
Yeah. So I don't know how long we've been going on so far.
I have no clue, but I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
We're at 70 minutes.
70?
70.
No way. Oh yeah,
Sounds
we are.
like
Yeah,
there's
1 hour and
70.
12 minutes. So I guess we'll wrap. We'll go for a
Eventually.
little bit. We'll wrap it up.
Eventually wrap.
So you gotta save some for next week. But
I know you have a lot of questions up there.
I think we can break that down for different episodes.
Yeah.
But yeah, looking at our little outline, we can talk about, let's say, Because I could also cut some of this out too. To
Oh, yeah.
shorten it down.
Editing works.
But when did you realize you considered yourself bougie?
Ooh. Big thing. After me and my ex split, when I moved out here, there for a while, she's staying Canadian, but when we split, I still wanted to go out to the nice fancy restaurants. I mean, I was like bougie with
You
her.
enjoyed the lifestyle. She introduced you.
Yeah, she introduced me.
But it
she was
stuck
French.
with you.
She was French Canadian.
Okay.
Now, don't get me wrong. I did like finer things even before her. I love sushi. Love having good wine, but I didn't know what good wine was. Like, for some reason, wine introduces you when you really get into it.
Yeah.
You really learn other aspects of things.
The lifestyle. Yeah.
Especially if you go to a vineyard for the first time. You're like,
Oh, I mean, for sure. Like, I grew up, I didn't grow up, I didn't grow up poor or anything like that by all means. My parents had money. We lived in California.
I grew up poor.
I mean, we had $1 million house.
Yeah.
But our lifestyle, we didn't live, I mean, we didn't live like we were rich. Because, I mean, down in California, face it, it's expensive and everyone has, so $1 million house there,
It's nothing.
is nothing. And we may, looking back at it now, yeah, we had money, but we were probably the poorest people on our block of the people. We lived in a nice, fancy neighborhood, rich neighborhood. People, don't get me wrong, people around us were rich. We didn't really consider ourselves rich. My dad just worked really hard and got us that lifestyle. But it got to the point where, like, I mean, it was just little things. We were eating Taco Bell 4 nights a week. I mean, not really that much. It's a little extreme, but my dad loved Taco Bell. My mom, I grew up on like Stouffer's lasagna. I mean, as a kid, I never had to eat ramen. I wasn't to the point where like we had to eat ramen or anything. We chose to eat lasagna and things. We ate out all the time, which was nice. We had Indian restaurant. Like every Friday was like Thai food night. We had Indian food every like Saturday night.
Yeah,
my mom never cooked.
My mom cooked all the time.
So
I have a dad.
We weren't.
My mom.
We weren't having to eat at home because we didn't have money. It's just we didn't really eat fancy either, though. But we did eat. We wasted a lot of money. But at the same time, yeah, I had stuff. I never had to. I wasn't forced to eat ramen. So I love Top Ramen now as an adult because I did not eat it as a child. I didn't grow up on it because I mean, there's friends that are like, I eat Top Ramen. They're like, how can you eat that stuff? It's like, because they grew up on it, but I never grew up on it.
So Top Ramen, it wasn't a staple in my house, but it was in the house. But was it like just throw it in there, boil, and you put
gourmet ramen?
No, my mom cut up potatoes.
Oh, yeah, she made it gourmet.
She made like it was to us. It was just ramen soup. She made it with sazon, adobo. When my mom cooked, she cooked. She made sure we were never, even though we were poor. I mean, my mom was homeless at the time. I was with her. We were poor. I've been poor with nothing. And I never liked my kids. No matter.
You never liked your kids?
No.
Oh. I was like, that came out wrong.
I never want my kids to have ever experienced that. So no matter what, I don't care how much money I had, I always tried to do right by them. Mm-hmm. Even when me and my ex-wife got divorced, always tried for my kids, And what was great about my ex-wife, Erin, she's an amazing mom, always great with the kids. I mean, she's a great wife. It didn't work out and didn't work out. That was it, I still love her to this day, as the mother of my children. But I learned to cook. I am sustainable. I do all that. And I love cooking, French cooking. Like I said, I love doing meals and having everybody over and cooking.
Yeah.
But yes, ramen, love it to this day. Like I said, my mom, no matter what, always tried to put food on the table.
Yeah.
Even though we were poor. And trust me, there are times I had jelly and mayonnaise sandwiches. Yes. Or ravioli and mashed potatoes. One of my favorite things, actually. Yeah. And it was
I'm not going to lie, that sounds pretty good.
real mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
She sat there.
That sounds
and
fire.
It was never that instant thing. We never really did instant meals. The only thing close to growing up was instant meal was maybe the Salisbury,
steak.
Salisbury
TV dinner?
steak she put in the oven.
Oh, on the oven.
You know, it wasn't the TV there. It was you put it in the oven and heat it up, you know, with the 8 patties or 6 patties that were in there.
I mean, I grew up on a lot of instant stuff
Yeah.
too, because I mean, it's not that we couldn't afford
Hot
it.
Pockets was our instant.
I don't know if
Old school Hot Pockets.
it's not that my parents couldn't
Yeah.
afford it, because we could definitely afford it when we were growing up. Maybe they just didn't know how to cook, or they just enjoyed the easiness of it. But like Thanksgiving, it was instant mashed potatoes, instant stuffing, butterball turkey.
Oh, no.
And my wife makes fun of me to this day because she cannot do that. Like she is what got me on to being bougie, I guess. Because I mean, at the same time, as like we had money, but we'd eat cheap and we eat crappy or whatever else. But like, she will not have boxed mashed potatoes, will not eat boxed, and I don't blame her.
My
There's
mom
a difference
made
in taste.
everything from scratch as much as possible.
And there is a difference where if you grew up having like whole food like that, and actual food,
yeah.
switching to a box afterwards,
Yeah.
no way, it's not going to taste any good.
No, get me wrong. When I was growing up with my kids, when I had my kids, I give them some instant stuff, you know.
Well, sometimes
But-
these kids, you try your best to not have them eat like that, and they prefer that.
Yeah.
I want my kids to eat like, eat this the food, eat this the whole food. We'll cook food, we'll make food, we'll do stuff, and they're like, no, but they want mac and cheese out of a box.
Yeah, which I don't mind. But
they're kids.
I was a stay-at-home dad, so I was when they were growing up for the first
Sometimes the struggle is real.
almost first 8 years with my son, because we got divorced after 9. I cooked. I was the stay-at-home dad. I cooked, I cleaned, I did the whole thing, brought him to school. But I cooked all the time. Love cooking, and I'd make stuff. Just make stuff up. Just make sure my kids ate. And it wasn't always, a microwave dinner, Never really a microwave dinner. Most of it was the most microwave thing was maybe some dino nuggets.
I used to love kid cuisine. TV
Now,
dinners.
when I got into the service, when you were in school, you lived on cup of noodle soup. You lived on just, every microwavable thing imaginable, because you go eat from the barracks, but there are times in the middle of the night you just need to grab
hungry.
something to eat.
Yeah,
And some of the barrack foods wasn't always that great. I mean, but yeah.
Yeah. But all right.
yeah.
Well, I think it's time to wrap this up here.
Yes.
Definitely have a lot. I mean, we could go on for hours about this,
Oh
which
my
is a good
gosh.
thing.
Well, this is our first time doing this.
Yeah, first time doing the podcast.
And we haven't figured out our flow yet, but this has been a lot of fun.
This is a pilot, and I mean, I see good potential in this.
And we got to know more about each other,
Yeah.
even though we know each other for like 2 years.
Yeah, definitely. And I get it's nice we have a lot of content, and that is great for next week. I think we want to do potentially, we'll see how it goes. We're going to aim for a weekly podcast release. And then go from there. I mean, depending on how much time we have, because I know we're both busy and can be busy and stuff going on. But try to aim for a weekly podcast. And if we can't do a weekly, we're at least going to give you every 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to try, we got the audio podcast. So we're going to be on, I've got us on where we can do Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor FM, all the different podcast providers.
Amazon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like with the podcast hosts that we're posting this up to, we can distribute to everywhere. So we'll be there. You guys can listen to this audio in your car, things like that.
Boujee Boys.
Or we have the video where you can actually view us and have a video podcast, and that'll be available on
Look at this thing.
Riverside, between Riverside and YouTube. We'll be on there as well.
Yes.
So we plan on doing this. This will give us a chance to hang out once a week at least, at minimum. If not once a week, once every couple of weeks.
Hopefully we could get one of our other friends, Jeff.
He agreed that one time to be a guest because he did not want to be in here, which is fine. I get it.
But, we'll put him as the voice behind the thing.
Yeah, we'll have him sit behind the camera. He doesn't want to be on camera, but we'll mic him up and put him in the back there. That'd be great. Maybe we can get him on as a producer.
The Phantom.
Get him as the producer. We'll call it the producer.
Yeah, there you go, the producer.
Producer Jeff. He's in the background.
Trust me, he's just as bougie as us.
He just doesn't want to be. No, he doesn't want to be seen. But yeah, so we plan on doing this a lot more regularly. We're going to be release podcasts. We'll do a video podcast as well. Eventually, we'll get some merch up there. I've got that laser engraver and all that stuff, 3D maker. So we'll make maybe some
Talking about spending money.
Boujee Boys keychains, maybe a Yeti. We'll engrave our own personal Yeti.
I definitely want a keychain and a cup.
Bring
coffee cup.
Bring me a wine glass. I'll etch our logo on there.
Now, like I said, it should be blue collar budget, white collar taste.
I do like that. Currently, I have it set as elevate your everyday.
Definitely elevate your everyday.
But we can throw that in there too, or switch out. We'll see what works and what I want. It could be
the cheese like melting.
It could be bougie by nature, elevate your everyday. Boujee Boys, blue collar, white collar lifestyle. But I think our goal is to each podcast will bring out a different wine or different couple bottles of wine, or maybe showcase it, talk about the wine maybe. We do want to bring some guests on. We have a little bit of guests that we have. Like we said, maybe Jeff will come in as a guest. He may not want to be on camera, but we can put him back there. A couple of the wine.
Hide him in a corner.
We have a few of the wine sommeliers over, like we talked about, Macalusos. I can maybe approach them, get them on here, talk about the wines, their business, maybe their experiences.
Do some reviews.
As well.
Our favorite restaurants.
Yeah.
That is, it's bougie budget, but great food on that budget.
Walter wants to come and say hi, so I will let him come and say hi.
Walter wants to come in here and say hi. Let's bring Walter in here.
Yeah, let's bring Walter. We'll have our guest, our first guest.
Our first guest.
He is very excited because he is 10 years old, and he's trying to. I'm proud of him. He's trying to figure out, and he's doing it all by himself too, making his own YouTube channel.
Oh wow!
His content. He is doing his VR headset stuff. It's a kid channel. It's a kid. I don't expect much from it, and he's learned. But this is his first channel.
You know what? It's being like an entrepreneur.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing that. So he texted. He wants to come on camera. So here he is. He wants to shout out to his YouTube channel. Okay, you're on camera. Come over here.
You gotta stand right here in the front. Face that way.
So
there you go.
Cameras
hey,
are
Walter.
Okay. So there's a camera there. So yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
What did you want? You wanted to talk about
something.
So this is Walter. He is he's going to be our first guest on the Boujee Boys podcast.
I thought he was.
No, he's my co-host.
We're co-hosts.
We're both. This is both our shows, and we're going to bring guests on. But you get to be our first guest. So tell us about your. So you are Walter. You are 10 years old, and what grade are you in?
4th grade.
4th grade. Hold on.
4th grade.
We'll give you. Let me see a microphone.
Yeah.
We'll see.
You have the microphone, right?
Can I join this microphone in after?
Yeah, I'll just give him mine.
Okay. So I'm not sure if I can hook up the other one.
All right. Come here, Walter.
We're gonna mic you up so that you can do your first interview, be our first guest.
Go ahead. There you go.
Okay.
Stand right
Okay.
there.
So look at the camera.
There's the camera right there.
So Walter,
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about you. So you're 10 years old. What grade are you in?
4th grade.
4th grade. Okay.
And what are your
Just act
interests?
natural. You're nervous.
What do you like to do as a 10-year-old?
Play with my friends.
Play with your friends.
Yeah. What do you like to play?
Roblox.
Oh, so you play on the computer, right? You like playing on the
Yeah.
computer. You like doing your VR,
Yeah.
and your new channel on YouTube.
What is it called?
Yeah. 101 Walter.
101 Walter Kids channel on YouTube.
So 101 Walter on YouTube. So the @ 101 Walter.
No, just 101, no @.
No, the @ in the front.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
101 WALTER.
There
Yes.
you go. 101 WALTER.
So this is Walter. He is my middle child.
Oh, yeah.
You get a camera there. So this is my middle child. He's got middle child syndrome. He tells us all the time.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, he's working on YouTube. So if you guys go send him a follow, like, and subscribe, that kind of stuff. He just wants to. Is that what you wanted to shout out your
Let's go,
YouTube, or
Walter.
what else would you want?
Well, otherwise I came over here is because I was going to ask if my YouTube channel got deleted somehow.
Oh no, I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll have to look at it here in a bit.
Yeah, I sent feedback.
Just gotta figure it out.
I sent feedback to YouTube already.
Okay. All right. You give that back to Miguel.
Oh,
You drop the magnet.
yeah, I want some under here.
That's fine. Here, I got another magnet. I'll just.
Here.
Okay.
Thank you, Walter.
All right.
Thanks for being our first guest. We appreciate it very much.
All right. Bye. All right. So yes, that's Walter.
That was cute. That was adorable.
I'm sure Mina's gonna be jealous and she wants to.
Oh,
have on
she's
here.
going to have to run out here.
But we'll
we
make.
got to introduce you to Princess Mina another time.
Yeah, we'll do it on another episode. But anyways, it's been great. I think we'll have many more podcasts, and I think we got plenty to cover that we still want to talk about.
Oh, yeah,
So,
definitely. And thank you for joining us.
so the nice thing about these podcast equipment and all these phones and laptops and mobile setup is we will be able to go to some of these wineries or these restaurants.
Oh, yeah.
And bring this with and do on-site interviews and on-site podcasts. And so here's... Oh, yeah, you left your phone here? Here you go.
Cut that out. What is it?
Cut it out. For all you young folks. That's
Oh, my
Full
gosh.
House.
Oh, yeah.
So anyways, so yes. So we'll go to places, we'll do some podcasts and reviews of restaurants, places like that. We can do all that, some of our favorite spots, and while we interview, because I think what we do want to interview a bunch of people and bring on guests each time.
It's going to be so much fun.
People that meet the Boujee lifestyle, a part of the Boujee lifestyle, friends that elevate the lifestyle, that have businesses that are in line with our vision of Boujee, things like that. And then now here, speaking of Mina, here's Miss Mina.
Here's the princess.
She heard probably that Walter was on camera, and so she had to come over here. She probably wants to come say hi too. Watch the cord.
The Princess Mina.
Watch the cord. Step over.
Oh, yeah.
The camera's over here.
Say hi, Mina.
Hi.
How you doing? I'm looking at you through the camera. See? So if you look over there, I look over here, I can see you through here. So, Mina, how old are you?
8.
You are 8 years old. What grade are you in?
3rd.
3rd. And what do you like to do?
Draw or paint.
Draw or paint.
You like to draw or paint?
Well, I thought you liked to sing, too. I remember your birthday with karaoke.
I just got her text right now. She says, "Can I get interviewed?" She is the star that likes to be on camera.
Oh,
she
my
wants to
God.
dance. So what do? You dance, right? You go to dance class?
Is it like she hung out with the cheerleaders or something?
Oh, yeah. Her teacher, Miss
teacher?
Angel, she used to be, or at the time when we met her, she was a Seahawks cheerleader or a Seagal.
And she got to hang out
sea
with
dancer.
the Seahawks
Yeah.
cheerleaders.
She got to hang out and get some autographs and take pictures. And she is going to put in, or she's going to audition to be a junior Seagal this year.
Nice. Congratulations. I hope you get it. You
And,
will. You're amazing. You will.
And speaking of Seahawks, we upgraded our season tickets. So we're a lot closer this year.
Oh, he's like, the seats are right behind the forks.
10 rows up.
And I told him I will definitely go because it's a lot less walking.
Yeah. Our seats before were up in the 300 levels up nosebleeds.
Oh my gosh.
Finally, we're able to upgrade.
Far away.
We were able to upgrade and get a lot closer this year for our season tickets. Only cost $2,000 more on top of what we were already paid.
Like you said.
Which is why I'm Uber Eats driving now to make up for
He's
that.
trying to save for Paris.
Yeah. Next month is Paris, and I was like, I need some extra cash. So Uber Eats was a great, easy, quick way to do it.
But sit there.
So, anyways,
All right.
thank you, Mina.
Have some salami.
Yes, you can have salami. You love salami. She is just as bougie as all of us because she loves
She's
salami.
beyond bougie. She's a princess.
8 years old, loves salami, charcuterie. She loves sushi. She loves traveling. She made herself a chai tea and took it to school.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, with her little $80 pink hoodie that she had to wear that her friends had.
$80.
She talked my brother-in-law when he was here a couple weeks ago to buying it on Amazon.
Okay.
Buying it on Amazon, and so it came the other day, and she wore it to school because all her friends have it, so she had to have it. And
She talked him into getting him an $80 hoodie.
He said, who has the cutest outfit at school? And I said my friend Mariah because she had that hoodie, and then he bought it for me.
yeah.
I love you. You're amazing. She'll be a great politician. She's a great Indian princess.
Yeah. So she is.
Yeah.
So yeah, this wraps this episode up of Boujee Boys. Thanks for tuning in with us. It's been a roller coaster first episode. We're kind of all over the place, but it kept flowing. And I like the feel of it. And I think we'll, as we tune it in, get a little bit more organized. And as we, see how things go, upgrade equipment down the line,
Oh, yeah.
things like that. We'll take this on the road. We'll do all kinds of things. I think we have a lot of potential. And with the 3D printer and the engraver, we're going to engrave some merchandise. We'll throw some out there. We'll get some, my next thing that I want is a embroidery machine. Then I can embroider our own hats, our own merchandise. I got a literal sweatshop here.
So, yeah, I was about to say, I'm like, are you going to bring your kids in to start working also?
You know what? Tough times, right? You got to be able to, the only way to be afforded, you got to hire my kids. They want to go, my kids want to go on all these fancy trips to Paris.
But they're not
In
making
London.
any money.
No, but they're going on all these trips.
Yeah, so they're going to have to work.
They're working their way.
They gotta
on this
work.
trip. They're working.
I mean, the Troys ain't cutting it.
Yeah,
Because that's still your money. They need
Yeah.
to make money that's not your money.
They're paying. They're going to work in the sweatshop and pay for
there you
these
go.
trips.
Are you at least going to give them medical and dental?
They already. Yep. Yes.
Well, they have it, but
They
they
have
got
it
to
through-
start paying for it, though.
No, they won't pay. It'll be included. Benefits
It'll
will be.
benefits included. Okay.
Yeah, because they still get covered under my benefits. So yes. But all right, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week. Cheers. I think if you're not following us, I opened up an account on X,
Yep.
Boujee Boys.
Well,
Is
there's
our
a
handle.
lot of things up there on X too.
But at Boujee Boys, BOUJEEBOYS. Instagram, we got
Yes.
registered Boujee Boys.
So you will be able to follow us and all that.
Boujee Boys podcast is the address.
What we have to do is also add it to
Do
our own
TikTok?
personal profiles too.
Yes, we'll add it on there.
And we'll have to make a Facebook creator one.
I have one. So is I think it's bougieboys.podcast because Boujee Boys was taken by someone, not Boujee Boys, not us. I was going to do bougieboys.official, but I just went with
Do we have S or Z
uh,
for boys?
S. It was like, we got to keep it bougie. You got to have the S. Because the Z might be the borderline ghetto / bougie. So we'll keep it fancy.
Keep it with the fancy with the S with the $sign.
Yeah.
The S $sign.
Yes.
The
Which reminds me, maybe we'll bring it up next episode. There's some other, I did my research of bougie podcasts, and there's some ghetto bougie bitches. There's some ghetto girls out there. And I don't want to throw sling any mud for just because, they'll get on, they may listen to ours and be like, okay, we're not trying to start a war. But I was like, gosh dang. There's some bougie bitches. You could tell they were white, which is fine. We'll just leave it at that.
I don't think there's any guy ones like this though.
No,
most of them are like politics or sports or cars or.
A lot of the bougie podcasts I get were a lot of women who were reviewing their shows, TV shows, episodes of.
That's not being bougie though.
They're like, but them being bougie. It was more of them being catty, and just basic gossip and talking shit.
Yeah,
That's all that was. So, anyways, thanks for joining us. We will see you next week. Not sure what day this is going to release. Looking for maybe a Sunday. I don't know. I'm going to take this stuff to work and edit it, and we'll go from there. And we'll see how far I get, and then we'll start splicing, putting things together, and then we'll push it out.
So, like you said, thanks for watching. Thanks for joining us. We are the Boujee Boys. Miguel, Ray, Miguel. Doesn't matter who goes first. We're just here, enjoying time. Two brown guys talking about a white lifestyle.
White collar, white lifestyle.
White collar.
I'm not against being on a yacht, sit sail. Maybe we can do a podcast on the water during the summer.
Hey, you do have the water privilege.
Yes.
So,
which we'll go over my bougie stuff maybe next episode. We can talk about the boat club and all the other stuff.
So I do wine clubs. He has one of the wine clubs. You do boat club. I got 2 wine clubs.
I got 2 wine clubs.
Yep.
Yeah.
You do the boat club.
I want a 3rd wine club, but I'm like, oh my God.
No.
I can't.
I'm lucky my
expensive.
first wine club is every month, so it's not bad for $150 compared to my other wine club, which is quarterly. But that's like almost a $300 hit.
Ooh, yeah. So I'm saying the
I want the $150 a month.
I want to join Contos. I want to join. There's a few others I want. I'm like, I want to join every winery I go to, but there's some wineries that I have gone through, and I'm like, I've just connected with their mission.
Well, the thing is,
and I want to support them as a.
I know we're supposed to be stopping, but real quick,
I know.
What I enjoy, the wine clubs are great for a certain vineyard. I can only do one if that's my favorite vineyard, which I told Michelle was one of the first ones I've really experienced, and it's always been my favorite vineyard. But what I like about my Field Bar Wine Club, the wine is always different. It's not from the same vineyard.
Yes.
That's what I like about it.
And that's why I like I have First Leaf, which is every month I get wines from around the world, same type of thing. and I get to experience the different regions, different areas. I get
different
one from
tastes.
Spain,
Yeah.
one from Italy, one from France, things like that. Occasionally, I'll get some Washington wines.
But
And these are
expands
like
your
90 plus point
horizon.
wines that are rated high. And
And
yeah,
we'll talk about 90 plus point stuff later on.
yeah. So, but yeah, I get to experience more than just one winery, because some wineries, it's like I love these wineries, but then I don't. The other clubs that I'm part of, I get their release of the year from their thing. So I try their Capsov, their Merlot, things like that.
Which I like about
Which is
Chateau,
good.
but I only get 3 wines.
But
it's 6 total, but it's only 3 separate wines.
Yeah, and that's what I'm doing with Mark Ryan. I get like 6 bottles or 8 bottles, but they're like
It's only 3 or 4
different-
separate. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
and which is good because I find one I really like. And I'm like, I wish I had another bottle of it, which is great. This year they're releasing the Dissident from 22 or 23, which will be good. I like Dissident.
We'll talk about years on wines and stuff like that later because those are important too.
That does, yeah.
That's
a whole
important.
episode in itself.
Oh my God. I have a book I have to bring in. My sister actually sent me. She is not bougie at all. But she sent me a book on worlds of wines or something.
Oh,
Talks about all types of wines, the regions, different parts. I'll bring it
we'll
in
definitely
next time.
bring it in. We'll get into that. We'll dissect that.
All right.
All right. Well, you guys all have a good night. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
All right. Buenas noches. Pasa. Peace.
You're listening to Boujee Boys podcast with your hosts, Ray and Miguel. If you liked what you've heard so far, make sure to follow and subscribe. You can find us on X at Boujee Boys, that's BOUJEEBOYS. On Instagram at bougieboys.podcast. BOUJEEBOYS_PODCAST.